Kuro Devs just released some mad info. I guess it's mad. I don't know if it's mad or not, but it's mad for me. Yinlin is coming early. And early, I mean like Yinlin's gonna be here in 4 days. Yes, you heard me correctly. Yinlin, the mommy Dami character that everybody is gassing up, will be here in 4 days. And that's kind of good, but also kind of bad. They also released a bunch of other dev notes and future adjustments and everything else that we're gonna be getting in current version and version 1.1, and then so on and so forth. So in today's video, I'm gonna tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly about Yinlin coming early, because yeah, so for the most part, a lot of this stuff is really good. Echo development experience. We have stuff regarding how they handled the echoes, which most of us didn't experience this at all. But give me a sec. Let me just kind of run you guys through everything. I'm gonna give you a condensed version. I don't want to read everything word by word. It's a pretty wordy dev note, if you will, but don't worry, I got you. The first up is going to be the echo development, or echo grinding as what we like to call it. And some of you have not experienced this yet, or maybe you're getting to that point now where you're experiencing this, but you basically need to get to UL 30 or somewhere around there, because that's when you start to get the gold echoes, or at least the opportunity to get gold echoes, and that's where the grinding starts. And as of right now, echo grinding sucks. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, to be fair, because you have an endless opportunity to do so. I can go from my world to your world, to your friend's world, to a viewer's world, to my girlfriend's world, to your boyfriend's world. Doesn't matter, right? If you wanted to spend all day on the game, you could literally spend all day on the game. And in fact, a lot of people do just that, but they're doing it for a reason that probably shouldn't exist. If you haven't started echo farming yet, what you'll notice when you do start is that you have to, one, level up the echo from level 0 to basically 20 or 25. The second thing you need to do in order to complete this echo is go ahead and give it these tuners. Tuners, early on, you have an abundance of them. I think when I first started, and then I started to do my echo grinding, I had over 600 of the golden tuners. The problem with this is blue tuners cannot be upgraded or transferred into purple. Purple can't be transferred into gold, so on and so forth. So at a certain point in time, especially if you're newer to the game and you're starting out and you're going through the game on your own, don't be afraid to level up your purple echoes in order to help you succeed or get more damage or more survivability throughout the game for your own casual playthrough. But just know that when you do retune those, you're not going to get golds, you're going to get purples. So it's kind of like a waste in a way, but at least you can use the echo experience to go into another echo. Why this is important, at least this update, and why it's number one, is because it's probably the most talked about thing right now as far as an in-game issue, something that's actually in-game that people are having issues with. So to make up for that, they're going to be giving us a limited time event that will be happening in this version. So version 1.0, we're going to get a new event called Chord Cleansing, which is going to give us double drops for echoes. If you play Honkai Star Rail or Genshin Impact, it's the same exact wording, same exact thing. Basically double drops for your relics or double drops for your artifacts. Now you're getting double drops for your echoes. If and how that's going to work, I'm not too sure, because what I'm assuming this is going to do is this is only going to apply to the tacit fields. Tacit fields still cost 60 of the wave plates, which is still a problem. The echo grinding itself isn't a problem. The echo grinding is a problem because it's too expensive for little reward, and I think they talk about that later on in the dev notes as well, but we're gonna go over that. Finishing up the echo development, you actually see that they don't talk about, or rather they do talk about, all the different changes coming into 1.1, removing the cutscene from the tacit field, giving you more rewards from tacit fields for echo development and for your echoes themselves. They're also introducing a wave plate storage system, which that's gonna be really interesting because that's basically gonna be your excess funds. If you play Honkai Impact, you know in Honkai Impact 3rd, they have the, I forget what it's, the dorm room. You have the dorm room, and then you have a bunch of like excess stamina, right? If I logged into my Impact account right now, my stamina will be capped out and I'd have over like 1200 or whatever it is, because it's all of it just goes into there and then it stacks up from all the story things that you do. The same thing could theoretically be applied to Wuthering Waves now, where they'll have a storage system and anything that you don't use just gets funneled into the storage system. So you don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm going to sleep and 24 hours have gone by, I didn't play the game. I don't worry about it. It's going to get funneled off into there. If they do this correctly, this will be a really good thing. If they do this bad, like Star Rail, where it's at a reduced rate, that's going to be ass, and you're probably still going to have to log in anyway in order to do that, just so you feel like you're not wasting wave plates, because wave plates are too expensive, or rather the things you need to use wave plates on are too expensive. The second thing they talked about was basically something that not a lot of us experienced. In fact, I don't know anyone that experienced this, but basically when you're recycling echoes, apparently they were not getting shell credits, or players were not able to get the shell credits when they were doing this. There was some kind of bug going on, so you could actually get more than what you were supposed to get, if any at all. So what they're doing in short is giving all players 1 million shell credits. I'm pretty sure I read that right. 000 000. Yeah, 1 million shell credits is going to be rewarded to all players. Now this eligibility means that you would, and all of this, by the way, so I'm going to cut this short. All eligibility for this would have had to be that you needed to play this game. You needed to get to at least level 4 to unlock the mailbox before May 30th, which is time of this recording 2 days ago. So you would have had to do all of this before 2 days, basically have played the game. If you are brand new and you're just starting, unfortunately, you will receive none of these rewards because you are not eligible since you did not get affected by this. You will be playing the game on the correct version, if you will, or the fixed version until there are more issues. Another cool thing that's actually going to happen tomorrow, at least tomorrow at the time of watching this video, but it might actually be tonight. Basically, they're going to be giving us 20 crystal solvents. Crystal solvents are the little cubes that you get in the game that give you 60 wave plates. 20 of those is basically having like 1200 stamina, which I'm not gonna lie to you, it sounds like a lot, but I promise you're gonna burn out because things are too expensive. So my advice, if you're not grinding for something, which most of us are towards this point now, we're trying to build out the character so that we don't have to build them later because it's expensive. We're probably gonna burn this out in like 10 minutes tops. Yeah, but if you can wait, if you're waiting on characters, if you can save it up, just save it. Don't worry about it. Wait until version 1.1. The reason I'm saying this is because if you can hold off until version 1.1 and you can manage to do whatever it is that you're doing in the game, you actually can use that solvent on the new acid fields and the new echo drops and experience and all the other kind of stuff. You would receive the maximum reward for holding on to the crystal solvents, but again, yeah, I know how I know the position we're in right now, right? I'm barely finishing Gion. I need like 2 more echoes left, and I have to constantly go hunt for the echoes and then turn the echoes into better echo. It's a lot. Next up, some of you may have noticed or heard about the JP issue with the Verdant summit, the Gion's weapon, the signature weapon for Gion, and how it had a mistranslation. They made a big deal about it, and so there's a lot of back and forth, a lot of rumors going around right now, but TLDR, everyone is going to be receiving 5 radiant tides. I think that's what it is. Forging tides, my bad. Forging tides are the weapon pools. Radiant tides are the limited character pools. So we're going to be getting 5 of those. It's not enough to get a 10 pool, but you could just throw 5 at it. Maybe you could shoot a single, get Yinlin's weapon or Verdant summit, whatever you want to do. But again, this is just good all the way around. I personally, because I'm greedy, was hoping we were going to be able to get a free standard weapon. I would have taken that over the forging tides, but it is what it is. It's not a big deal, right? The singles pull, right? Like the fuck it pull, sometimes you'll get it. Last of the baby stuff is basically a new event. So the Overdash Club event, which is kind of like you turn it on, you do it, and you're done. It was subpar. No one likes it. There's really no rewards to be gained from it, and then it takes so little time to do it. It's just no point. So that's what's going on right now. They've acknowledged this. They've heard our feedback for it, and so they're making a new event that's going to be coming out. I believe June 13th is when it's going to start here. So a little after Yinlin gets here, basically. So Yinlin's going to have like 3 or 4 different events within her banner. But Wuthering Exploration is going to be what this new event is called. It's going to have better rewards and more content to do. The better rewards are already laid out for us. It's going to have 800 Astrite, which Astrites are your Primo Gems or your Stellar Jades or whatever. It's going to have Morphable Elite Class 1 and 2, Premium Tuners, and then Premium Sealed Tubes. The Astrite, I could care less about. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I know you guys care about that because as a free-to-play player, a lot of y'all want free pulls, which is fine. What you should care about is the Morphable Echo Class, so the Elite Echo Class 1, 2, and then the tuners, and then the premium sealed tubes, however many they give. Hopefully it's more than 20 per thing, right? Those are going to be what you use to build up the echo. The morphable class ones, some of you will have noticed this if you've been playing the simulated universe version of the game, right? The roguelike mode, which is super cool. That's an item in there that you can buy for like 400 of the points. It's really easy to get. That is a guaranteed on element of your choice echo. So if you're hunting for like the violent Thunderbird, it is a 5-star golden echo in there with the electro or fusion, depending on which pack you get, element, so that you don't even have to hunt for it. You just boom, you pick it and you got it. It's on element, so you don't have to hunt for the main stat. All you have to do is worry about the substats. Of course, that's going to be a different, it's RNG, it is what it is, but having 2 of these for free just for doing the event is huge. But it's an event, so it's not like you have to choose what you get anyway, right? You can get everything. But on to the more important stuff, the Yinlin Coming Early, which is like the bulk of what I want to talk about here. And for this one, I'm going to read it out loud for you guys, okay? Since the official launch of Wuthering Waves, we have received extensive feedback regarding the game's storyline, localization, and various other aspects. We have been listening closely and are grateful, I can read today, I promise, for the continued enthusiasm and support from our players, which has exceeded our expectations. They didn't even expect this. That's kind of funny. To allow everyone early access to experience more content and features of Wuthering Waves in version 1.0, we have decided to advance the release of subsequent content in version 1.0 starting on June 6, 2024 at 10 UTC plus 8. I'm saying that so if you're listening and you're not reading or watching the screen, you can hear the time. This release will include the companion story Solitary Path for Yinlin, the featured resonator, so the wishing when thunder pours for Yinlin, and then the limited time challenge event Alloy Smelt, along with many more spin-off events and features, such as the ones that we talked about earlier. Now, I had a concern that they were going to end Xian's banner early in order to get Yinlin's banner early, but after reading all this, that is not the case. Wuthering Waves version 1.1 or 1.0 will last until June 28th. So that is when the cutoff will be. Then they're going to turn off the servers like every other thing, and they're going to implement version 1.1 during this time period to basically compensate us for them bringing the characters forward. We're going to get Radiant Tide. So that's your limited pool. So we're going to get a free limited 10 pool. Okay, awesome. Now, we're also going to be getting a new area with version 1.1, Mount Firmament. We're going to be getting new resonators. They're confirming them now, Jinshi and Changli. And then we're going to get a new boss, Jue, which if you played the story, you have an idea of who that is, but you don't know who that is. All of this will happen June 3rd, 2024, which is basically June 4th, right? 4 days from now. So boom. June 4th. Oh, I mean, my bad. We're going to get the Radiant Tide tonight/tomorrow. And then Yinlin will get here in 3 days after that. 3 days, based. So actually, I think we'll actually get her. I don't think this is 4 days. I think we might get her like 3 nights from now, right? Like, I think this is 3 nights. But somebody could correct me if I'm wrong with time zones. The last of the updates I'm going to run through super quick just because they're very small, but there's a lot of them. Number 1, auto locking / lock on and camera performance in battle. I know Hex Juice is going to love that because she's complaining about the auto aiming a lot. I don't suffer this as a controller player, but I know a lot of you guys suffer this for mouse and keyboard. So they're fixing that. That's number 1. Number 2, some of you may have experienced when you're fighting Lampy Lumen or the Emperor's Heron, where you might do a thing or you activate your intro skill and then you go zipping across the map to a completely different enemy or a random enemy outside of the boss's area. They've acknowledged this, they're going to change this, and they're putting up basically an invisible perimeter around when the boss is ready to go when you trigger the boss, so that anything outside of that won't be triggered and only the boss will be affected or things within this perimeter. They'll also be including a disengagement warning feature. I'm not too sure exactly what that will be, but they're doing that. Ghost issues on mobile. I have no idea about this. I don't play on mobile too much, but if you have experienced ghost touch issues, they will be fixing this in some recent updates coming soon. It's not immediate, but they're working on it. They're also going to be working on further optimizations for mobile controls. I'm going to go ahead and talk about it now. They will be adding controller support to mobile controls as well. We don't have an exact date. They just say future versions will support controller mode, but we don't know if that's going to be 1.1 or 1.2, but they are acknowledging that it will come. For now, and this is just my advice, I know you guys probably don't want to do this because like money, but the backbone, I have one somewhere tucked off in one of my drawers. The backbone is an amazing product for mobile players. I use it all the time when I do play on mobile with my iPhone in particular. I don't play on my iPhone anymore. I play on the Android, the Red Magic 9, but I don't have a backbone for that, even though the Red Magic 9 doesn't need it, but still, I don't have a backbone for that. But if you have a backbone, they're pretty cheap, like 50 or $100, somewhere around there. It's awesome. It auto syncs everything. It forces controller support, and you don't have to worry about like Bluetooth syncing or anything like that. The backbone just works. It's great if you're looking for something now and you don't want to wait for an undisclosed time of when you'll get controller support on mobile. That would also let you do the stuff that I taught you guys in the previous video, the negative edging, the Kara canceling, the animation canceling, like normal jump cancels, the new weird, I don't even know what the other thing is called, the levitator tech or something like that. All of that different kind of stuff, you can do that with the backbone. We're also going to be getting the custom key binding features as well within 1.1, and then everything past that, they're going to be unlocking that after Union level 2, which is actually really easy to get to. They've addressed some of the issues like having the flower when you're buying that from the store. They're going to be adding a weekly purchase limit to that so that you don't accidentally use all of your shell credit in order to buy all that stuff, which is pretty good. Audio and sound effect bugs, they're fixing those. Performance issues with crashes and instability, they're fixing those. Depths of Elusive Realms, which is the event going on right now, which is basically Simulated Universe. They've heard our feedback, our pleas, our excitement for the game. They're keeping it as permanent. They will be making Depths of Elusive Realm a permanent mode. They will be changing it up per patch, and they will be adding even more features per pack. This is huge. So that's all the little stuff. Let's talk about the one big thing that I really wanted to talk about. I apologize for leaving this towards the end of the video, but I told you guys it was a wordy dev note, so I had a lot to go through and then give you guys examples or whatever. Yinlin. The good about Yinlin coming early is that we get Yinlin early. That's awesome. That's there's really no other good part about that, right? The bad about Yinlin, which there's a lot of bad. Yinlin coming early, the bad about that is essentially now we have a predicament, because now, for those that are not aware, Kuro Games has come out and said, and a few others have come out and said it, some of the paid for streamers or sponsors that they had, they were pretty big. They're not really gacha creators, but they did have some means of information that they talked about. Some people who have already had these deals with Kuro have come out and said that there is no more content creator program, right? The thing that we as content creators were excited for, that doesn't exist, at least right now, because Kuro is going through financial situations or whatever it is. So they don't have the means to afford that. Now, I know, because I've done stuff with Hoyoverse, I know kind of like how this works a little bit. That could be a lie. And I don't mean that they're not going through the financial thing. I mean that what gacha game companies like to do is they feel like, because this is what they should do, gather content creators to support their game or pump up their game, because that's going to help them, because they acknowledge that content creators are kind of like survival, right? If you don't have creators for your game, whether that be CN creators, JP creators, or global creators, if you don't have content creators on your game, it's not going to survive. So you need to find some way to latch onto a relationship like that. So they start building it pretty early during beta, stuff like that, whatever. They give out money, they give out sponsors, all this kind of stuff. The stuff that you saw like week 1 or pre-week 1 of Wuthering Waves. Then what happens after that is they get more success than they imagined. Just like they said, this has surpassed our expectations. I mentioned that at the very beginning of this video, right? Because that's what came from the dev note. So the one side of this coin is that those expectations have been exceeded, and now they no longer feel like they need content creators. We're the big dogs now. Our game is doing so well. Everyone loves our game. There's no reason for us to have content creators. Drop all of them. We don't have to pay them. Let's keep the money that we were going to use on content creators for ourselves. That's number one, right? Which is a little pessimistic to think about, but it is realistic in sense, because one, I've experienced it, and two, that's just kind of what companies do. Especially gacha game companies. It is what it is. I'm giving you guys a little insight on that. Secondly, the other side of this coin is that they are genuinely going through some financial issues, and it's not that they don't want to have the content creator program, but it's that they can't afford it, on top of the other things that they're already going through, such as trying to fix the game, the alleged rumors of people getting fired or let go from certain positions, them having to recover and find more people to get into those positions, them having to hire more people to help out with the game because the game is bigger than they thought, and them still trying to take things from Genshin, which rightfully so they should be doing, take things from Genshin to make their game more optimized and perform better so that everyone has a better experience overall. Yeah, they could probably be in some, sticky pickles with money. It is what it is. Them moving Yinlin up means that they're doing this for money, not because what they said earlier and like, oh yeah, we want everybody to experience 1.0. No, this is 9 times out of 10 for money, which, I mean, to be fair, that's fine. Not really a big deal to me personally, but as a gacha game player, I've been doing this for a few years. I've learned the golden rule. You never launch your game with a male character. No matter how badass he is, no matter how cool his design is, you never launch your game with a male character as your first limited banner. You just don't do it. It gives you the worst sales. So because more players did not spend on Jian the way that they might have assumed, that could be why they're bringing Yinlin in forward, right? Because now they know Yinlin was hyped up. Everybody was hyping up Yinlin and not Jian. We're going to bring her in early to make up for the revenue that we needed to meet, because they have to meet a quota, I think, per whatever on launch. And if they don't meet it, something happens. I'm not too sure what it is. Somebody in the comments might know, but I have been told that like all gacha games on launch need to meet some type of quota for whatever reason. So maybe they're trying to do that and they're trying to bring Yinlin early so that they can get that quota, get that money before the quota ends or comes up, whatever. So that's pretty much all of the bad. But the ugly part of this is that Zenless just announced that they're releasing their game. They're going live July 4th. And because I have a little bit of insider information on ZZZ, no, I don't have a contract, guys. All right. If I did, I'd be living pretty. That's all I'm saying. If I had a contract, I'd be living pretty. It is what it is. Anyhow, my point being is that with the little bit of insider information that I do have about Zenless, allegedly, the game has changed from CBT 3 to launch. So obviously the game will still be the same Zenless type of game, but they have changed some things drastically, allegedly, going into launch that should be beneficial to a lot more players and bring a lot more excitement to play the game. That's important because if they're releasing July 4th, which is or was going to be around the time that Yinlin would have launched, naturally, they are actually trying to push Yinlin's banner forward to compete or remove the competition from ZZZ. Meaning, if you were excited about both Wuthering and ZZZ and you're a paid for player and you were going to spend on, you know, possibly ZZZ or Yinlin and you couldn't make the decision, well, now they made the decision for you and they're forcing your hand. You can either pay for Yinlin early, get her about a 2 weeks or so early, they rake in all your money, you get paid again, then ZZZ comes out and then you just spend money on Ellen, right? It is what it is, but that's a good business move on their part for them to be able to do that. But it also means that now they're fighting 3 games, right? Wuthering Waves is on it. It's in a bracket of its own right now. It's fighting Zenless, it's fighting Genshin, and it's fighting Thariel. And all of these games come out. This Firefly is coming out in 3 weeks, which means that Firefly and Ellen would be competing. Then you have the new characters in Genshin, the Sithos or Scythos, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's coming out pretty soon with a brand new version. It's like 4.7, right? The new patch. So there's a lot going on right now that Wuthering Waves has to box, and it's not a good thing for them to be able to do that while they have all of these launch issues going on. And then they're trying to speed up the banner. The new character could bring in new issues. The new boss could bring in new issues. So they have a lot to do in just a matter of, once again, 3 to 4 days. Yeah, 3 nights, basically. They have a lot to crank out before Yinlin gets here. And then once Yinlin does get here, they've still got to go through all of 1.0, fix up whatever issues they have, and then prep 1.1 and launch 1.1. So it's just like, there's a lot they're doing right now that essentially is, it's cool. It's great for us as players, but on the back end of this stuff, it could be hell. Just like we've experienced with launch, all the issues, like I'm having a great time, but then some of you guys are having the worst times. Y'all can't even play the game. So it is what it is. Ultimately, this is great for me because I want Yinlin early, and I'm sure that it's great for a lot of you guys. I want to talk about something real quick, I think, and I'm going to leave this for a whole video because this one is like really long, right? This is probably the best time to start Wuthering Waves. I was going to tell y'all that like a week ago because it's like the beginning of the game. But now we're going into week 2 and we're getting version 1.0. The problem is you don't get any of these rewards that are coming from this particular dev note, but you will still get the rewards from, at least I think you do. I could be wrong. Somebody let me know about the dates, but you still get the 40 standard pulls from whatever it was. You're going to get that guaranteed as soon as you hit level 4. You can get a 5-star free. You get the 5-star ticket, you get that for free. So now you have 2 standard 5-star characters guaranteed. You also have what would be at this point in time, had you started the game May 30th, yeah, before May 30th, you would have 30 limited pulls. You only have 20 available to you. If you didn't start the game before May 30th, you'll have 20 limited pulls. Now you'll have 30 if you did start it, right? So there's 30 free limited pulls, which means you only need 50 more to hit pity. You're guaranteed within version 1.0 alone, no Yinlin events, no her banner, nothing like that. You're already guaranteed at least 12,000 of 15,000 of the astrite, something like that, which is already in itself another guarantee, right? So that's a guarantee. And then with Yinlin plus the events coming, you're going to get more. So that's probably another guarantee, or at least half a guarantee. So you're basically guaranteed whatever limited character you want, so long as you play the game. You can choose between Jian or Yinlin, and it is what it is. But I think having the mix of both is awesome because you can get the standard, you can choose what you want, you can choose Kakarot, you can choose Echo. It is what it is. I don't know. But now we're done. All right, thank you for watching the video, guys. I just wanted to update y'all on everything, give you my thoughts and opinions, why things were good, why things were bad, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, do leave a like, comment down below, let me know your thoughts and opinions on Yinlin coming early, literally 3 days or 3 nights from now. That's crazy. I can't say my user outro because it's inappropriate for YouTube. Smell you later.